A true sign of capitalism failing is its reliance on credit for commodities to move. And that's just what we're seeing right now. Uber Eats is teaming up with Klarna to offer a 4-month plan to make a purchase of $35 of food. The idea is for people who don't have enough money right now to be able to obtain the food that they want and pay later. This is called credit, even though Klarna insists that it's not. They loan you money and charge you interest on it like a credit card, sometimes with even higher rates of interest. Klarna insists that it is nothing like that. David Sykes, Klarna's chief commercial officer, says this: by offering smarter, more flexible payment solutions for groceries, takeout, and retail essentials, we're making convenience even more accessible for millions of Americans. Credit has always claimed to be about convenience, but really it's been about making money on interest, or service fees, as they claim. Otherwise, like Klarna, they wouldn't exist because they wouldn't be able to turn a profit. The internet reacted to this in a predictable way. Memes have already been created calling it a CDO, a collateralized DoorDash obligation. Obviously, using credit to purchase a burger is a silly idea, but not to Uber Eats. You see, when someone doesn't have enough money, that's one less meal they're going to purchase via their service. Luxury items such as Uber Eats are usually the first thing to get cut during lean times. Now someone can use their service and make that purchase anyway because now they can pay later when they have the money. See? They've gotten all the important sale after all. If it means Uber Eats gets the sale, then Uber Eats wins. And it was worthwhile. The negative effects of credit are completely irrelevant. And of course, this is not unique to Uber Eats. This is true of many industries. Research has shown that buy now, pay later loans are often used by people who are already in debt. According to a January 2025 report by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, 21.2% of consumers financed at least one purchase with these loans. This was an increase from 17.6% in 2021. Buy now, pay later, or BNPL, borrowers find that more than 1/5 of consumers with a credit record used BNPL loans in 2022, with most of those consumers having subprime or deep subprime credit scores. The CFPB research also revealed that more than 3/5 of the BNPL borrowers held multiple simultaneous BNPL loans at some point during the year, and 1/3 had loans from multiple providers. What does Marx tell us? Well, to put it simply, the demand for commodities that capitalist produces is too low. That worker and other capitalists in other industries cannot afford to purchase them. The invention of credit allows them to continue to make those purchases despite their inability to do so, on the hopes of future wages and profits to pay those loans down. This allows production and consumption to continue for a time. This creates the potential for unsustainable booms and busts. This, as you may have guessed, is unsustainable. Uber Eats needs to keep selling you food. They're locked in a double whammy of a problem. One, people are losing the ability to afford their service as wages stagnate. Yes, they've got the highest profits they've ever had this year, but the problem is only beginning, which is why they're offering credit. Two, they've got second place in market share against DoorDash, which dominates. Uber Eats needs something that DoorDash doesn't, some kind of gimmick, or service, or innovation as capitalists like to call it. This is where Klarna comes in. Overall, this is a bad sign. Making such small purchases on credit is a sign of someone who is already in a terrible financial situation. This is backed up by the data from the CFPB. You have to keep consuming in order for them to stay profitable, so they have to keep you going no matter what. Just as capitalists use credit to boost sales, Uber Eats is using credit to keep you using their service. And keep in mind right now that consumer credit debt, non-housing, is at an all-time high of over $5 trillion. Now, keep in mind that capitalists play games with debt, like packaging them into collateralized debt obligations and sending them out into the financial sector, which is what happened with mortgages in the 2008 failure of capitalism. We don't need any more credit in a system that is essentially one big credit bubble. You can already see the problem here. Uber Eats, in their desire to keep you spending, is creating more credit on top of essentially what would be people who already have a credit problem. My advice to you would be to never use this service. If you are so broke that you have to finance a burger, don't buy that burger, because you obviously can't afford it and are obviously going to be put in an even worse situation. Keep in mind, Klarna is credit, even though sometimes it's just a fee and not interest. There are interests on some of their loans, and some of them are much higher than credit cards. So I would advise you, anyone who is watching, stay as far away from something like Klarna as possible. If you absolutely do have to finance something, finance it through a bank loan, which is easier said than done, or failing that, some kind of credit card. Do not use Klarna. It is absolutely a dangerous service to use, and it's not even really good for the economy. Unless, of course, you're trying to crash the economy, then that might be a good thing to do. Go ahead and do that. Just putting that out there for you to know and giving you the information you need to make the decision that you think is best for you. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.